he really is the man that he thinks he is, then he should be boxing Tommy Fury again, trying to get that taken care of. But he doesn't want to do that, does he? Doesn't want to run that risk because he can't lose 2 in a row, because then the ride is over. The Disney adventure, the Disney wild ride of Jake Paul going into boxing, well, we'd all know it's a bunch of bullshit. I'm sure he's not a bad person. You know, he talks a lot of crap. He's doing his thing. He's promoting himself. But I don't know him. I've never met him. And I've never said anything personal about him. All I've ever said is that I wish the guy would fight a boxer. He's yet to fight a boxer. Oh no, pardon me, he did fight a boxer. He fought one boxer in Dubai against Tommy Fury, and he lost that fight.
Tommy didn't win the fight. I lost it. I was not good. I was not on my A game. I didn't implement the game plan. My legs were weak going into the fight. I think I cut the weight improperly in such like a 7-week camp.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you can't cover up. He lost fair and square in the ring to me, and I think he's just looking for excuses to try and cover that up. You know, he didn't look that ill when he was flying here, there, and everywhere on press conferences, getting private jets to London, doing all these things, making stupid videos on the internet. He didn't look that ill to me then, so at the end of the day, I think he's trying to cover up his loss, but you can't. You know, I handed him his first loss, so he's got to come to terms with that.
Granted, you do learn more from your losses than what you do your victories, but he's not talking about that. He's saying, listen, everyone just thinks I'm vulnerable. Well, you were clearly shown that when you first went up against a professional boxer, remember, the first time, not a basketballer, not a wrestler, not a past his prime MMA guy, right? This was a boxer who was young, who was a novice boxer, and you got beat fair and square. And now you're saying your team wanted you to take an easy fight like KSI. Well, yeah, that would be the natural thing to do because you are a YouTuber yourself. Go and fight KSI. Make a shit ton of money. You know, and I'm not hating. It's just all this talk about taking on Canelo and being one of the greatest boxers that ever lived.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Jake is quite delusional. He said he wants to be a world champion by 2026. But, I mean, after that performance, really? Like, I don't know. He's saying he wants to fight Canelo and beat Canelo, but with Jake, I don't get it. I don't get what he's trying to do or what he's trying to create or who he's trying to fool. Because I feel like the consensus has changed a little. Like before, like especially this fight with Nate, people were like, oh yeah, KSI would lose to Jake easily. Jake is the better boxer, he's just better. Whereas now after that fight, more and more people are like, oh, you know what? I think KSI would actually beat Jake Paul.
I have a buddy, Robin Shafar, 13-0, 16-0 Vegas guy. He's looking for a big fight. Good boxer. Go beat that guy, then you have my respect. But as of now, dude, you have not done shit. You had a small test and you fucking lost. Nate Diaz don't count. So again, he's fighting these old fucking cans. You want a real fucking fight, Paul? I'll go find you a great boxer that'll fucking put you on the floor. It's bullshit.
I had a few people message me and say, well, who do we put in from mixed martial arts to like represent us?
Right.
You know, if you're digging into the UFC archive, it's got to be someone like a Robbie Lawler or a Matt Brown would be an absolute scrap as well. But, you know, they're the kind of people that he's going to want to pick off.
I want to see Matt Brown fight Jake Paul, but Dominic's like, no, you're picking these wounded animals. And I'm like, Matt Brown is too fucking tough and too mean. Matt Brown will knock out Jake Paul if you give him the opportunity. I don't know how. I don't know. I know he can't kick and elbow. If you give Matt Brown the opportunity, he will knock Jake Paul out. I promise.
Yeah, but Jake Paul's fighting like all like the retired UFC fighters, you know?
Yeah.
Like he fought like Anderson Silva the other day. Like for me, that's my idol. When I was like young, getting into MMA, he was like the guy that I looked up to, like in his prime, you know. And also now to see that the other day when he fought, and he's like 46 years old and slower down. His reflexes ain't the same, and his chin is a bit gone, you know. So yeah, but he's fighting like retired UFC fighters. And
he beat Anderson Silva, right? But he was 47, and he was Anderson Silva that had aged considerably. And, you know, the things that made Anderson Silva great were a lot like what made Roy Jones great, you know, and those skills deteriorate very quickly with age. He knows how to pick these guys off. It's entertainment, sports entertainment, however you want to say it. And I think he's doing a very good job of bringing the right people in with the right following and excitement around them, the respect that they can fight as well. And he's having a lot of fun, you know, beating them at boxing.
you know, this guy. Why doesn't Jake Paul want to come fight these young guys in their prime? You know, if anything, Uncle Dana needs to send me over there, do a little one-off for the UFC just to do the MMA community a favor, man. Because I feel bad for all the MMA community having to deal with this guy, thinking he's a real fighter, talking shit to all the fighters. You know, let's just end him, and then we can come back and get to normal life in MMA.
I just feel that, you know, Jake Paul is probably an amateur, a very good, I would say Jake Paul's probably amateur. Like if you put him in there with a legit boxer, a legit amateur, he's gonna get knocked the fuck out. If I was to ask Jake Paul, how often do you get your ass whooped when you're getting ready for your fights? He'd probably say, I don't get my ass kicked. I get to pick and choose my sparring partners. That's where, if he was to go against a legit boxer, he'll get destroyed.
He trains hard. I think that he respects the art and the game. I just don't think he's very good. He's way better than he should be for the amount of time he's been fighting. I'll give him that. So I don't think he sucks. I just don't think he's very good.
Jake Paul is such a f***ing coward. Like you're picking guys who can't box, wrestlers. Like Jake Paul, I would, for $5 million, I would fight you to the f***ing death. I'm not even joking. I'm being 100% serious. I would go to a deserted island with you today and fight you to the death for $5 million.
So I was getting a lot of comments in that, and people were saying, Wonder Boy, you should fight Jake Paul. Wonder Boy, you should box. You should fight him. So I was thinking, if I fought boxing, would I fight the same way I do in an MMA fight? Or would I have to change things up and fight more like a traditional boxer?
Nah. I think like a UFC guy can learn boxing quite fast. I think the opposite way around, like a boxer to learn MMA is probably a longer process. You got like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, it's a lot to learn, you know. But we do boxing as part of our training, so it's not a big difference. But it's like a different range, different timing. It's all different. You're only punching the head on the body, you know. As mixed martial arts, you can kick the leg, you can kick the body, you can kick the head, you know. You can elbows, and so yeah, I think it's easier to learn.
Hey, there you have it. At the end of the day, martial arts is martial arts. No matter if it's boxing, kickboxing, MMA. The thing is, the techniques are relatively the same. It's just the fact that, are you willing to put in the work to be able to focus on that sport, right? To make it work for that sport. Kickboxing to MMA. MMA to boxing. You know, it hasn't worked yet so far from the MMA to boxing. I don't think they just had enough time to really roll over.
So when I see that, and I see a guy who comes in from the Disney World, taking a couple jokester fights for a spectacle against Nate Robinson, then Ben Askren, and going out there, and it's like, I'm glad he's making money. But what I'm saying is, I am shocked that this is what people would rather tune into. And I'm not speaking for everybody, obviously, but the younger generation would rather watch their favorite YouTuber go out and fight versus a professional who's actually doing it.
I think it kind of shows the way that combat sports is going these ways. You know, if you have a big following, you have this YouTube draw, and you have, you know, millions of followers and tons of engagement, interaction on your social media, then you're going to get big fights. People want to see it. Even if you're not a fighter and you're not a boxer, you can sell it like you're a big boxer, you know, and that's what it's all about these days, just selling fights and getting people interested and wanting to see fights. And unfortunately, you know, we're not rewarding the people that have worked their whole life and sacrificed everything to get to this point. We're rewarding these little kids that have a couple extra followers from YouTube and giving them these big paychecks.
Anyway, he messaged me today. He said, how does Dana's nuts taste? I don't know where that came from. I don't know why he decided to come after me. So I said, how did Tommy's uppercut taste? You know, a little something back, you know what I mean? And he come back. And what did he say? I don't know. I'm 26 years old, and that fight, that amateur fight that you called it, I made more money in that fight than you made in your entire career, something like that. You know, and I said, well, if you made so much money, is that what you used to buy those running shoes where you literally ran away from Floyd Mayweather?
Wait, what? We're never praised with love. It's never universal. But the one thing that we cannot have is indifference. When people don't care, whether you're on TV or you're on this or on that, that is a recipe for disaster, because when they don't care, all of a sudden the higher up stop caring, and the next thing you know, you're replacing them. One thing Jake Paul does not have at all is people that are indifferent to what he is doing.